Hey, Sofrito Lovers, this is Bren Ramos bringing you this week's mukbang from my palatial home here in the Northwest Bronx. The Bronx is the home of hip-hop and salsa. I am bringing you some bistec encebollado con arroz con gandules. This is stewed steak with peppers and onions, and of course, the traditional, can't do a Puerto Rican mukbang without eating it, arroz con gandules. Stewed pigeon peas cooked with rice. Buen provecho, mi gente. So good. It is Tuesday night, and I am bringing you this mukbang with joy. You know why? Because I had a long day. Work was stressful. I took a walk through Bronx, Little Italy. I don't live that far away from Little Italy in the Bronx. I took a walk after work, got some pastries, got some cannolis. So good. Almost bought a panettone, but I decided, I have a little quick bites of the panettone and then I don't want any more. It's like those tall Italian cakes that are like that are very flaky. It's almost like a cake that has like the consistency of a croissant. It's very flaky, and it's very much like a fruit cake. It's got like nuts and fruits and all that. I like a little bit of it, and then I don't want the rest. So I was like, let me not buy a big panettone, and they didn't have the little ones. But I'm just walking around Bronx, Little Italy, thinking about work and life and blah, 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 blah. So kind of came up with a decision, kind of like a goal for the new year. I am planning on going to Puerto Rico in the spring. I have not been back to Puerto Rico since 2006. 2007. It's been a very long time since I've been home to my home country, to La Madre Patria. And I'm gonna have some steak. Look. Oh. So I'm gonna go to Puerto Rico in the spring. I'm gonna give it a few months. Hopefully the world dynamic will be a little bit better. I'm thinking sometime in April, May. Give it a few more months. Things in Puerto Rico right now are not that good, obviously. Hell, things in New York are not that good. But I don't want to talk about that nonsense anymore. I'm so sick and tired of talking about that. I'm going to Puerto Rico in about 5 to 6 months. Probably for a week. Visit some friends. See some sights. I want this to be kind of like a return to Mecca type of vibe. I'm thinking of going alone. I gotta break the news. Oh, well, look, I'm breaking the news to David. Hey, baby, I'm going to Puerto Rico in March or April or May. I'll send you pictures. But it's something I want to do on my own. I was just, weirdly enough, for some reason, I was thinking about travel all day today. I'm not a big traveler. I think I've told you guys this. I'm not one of these people that enjoys traveling. I don't. But for some reason today, I have Puerto Rico on the brain. Probably because I was reading a couple of articles about the recent gubernatorial election on the island. And it's made me want to go. I don't want to go anytime soon because of the world dynamic. You know, if I go anytime soon, I would have to quarantine when I get there, quarantine when I come back. And I really don't want to travel anytime soon. I already feel like pushing it to April, May is a good idea. Let's see what the world looks like in about 5 or 6 months. So yeah. I'm gonna go to Puerto Rico and have some arroz con gandules there. Visit family, visit friends, move around the island a little bit, see my friends in Vieques, spend some time, eat some good food, treat myself to some sun fun. I am not a beach person. I don't like being where it's super hot, where there's sand, and I'm not a big fan of ocean water. So that pretty much eliminates the beach for me. Except in those beaches like in Luquillo and all that, where they have all of these little amazing little food kiosks there, where people fry up, cook up some amazing food that people, of course, will buy and eat on the beach. Last time I was there, I was far more interested in the food kiosk than I was the actual beach. In fact, some friends were like, you didn't pack a bathing suit, you didn't pack beach stuff. I was like, I'm not going to eat on the sand. I'm going to go sit in the benches and eat some fried fish and some rice and beans and some maduros and all that. I'm like, I don't care about the beach. Sorry, folks. There'll be no Speedo pics on the beach from me. If I go to the beach, it's because I'm going there to eat all that good food that they fry up, cook up on the boardwalk. You know, like the cement boardwalks that they have where they sell all like the concession areas. There's some beaches in Puerto Rico where the concession areas are almost like restaurant rows. Like those little kiosks, the food that they produce there is incredible. And then there's a whole glory and majesty of the beach, yawn, whatever. I mean, I'm a city boy. I don't give a fuck about nature. I know it sounds horrible. David struggles. You know, David is like a suburban boy who loves nature. Let's drive upstate and watch the leaves turn. I'm like, come on. If I go, it's because I love you and I want to support you. It's not because I care about the oranges and the autumn colors and no. I know I should be a lot more environmentally friendly. And I'm fine. Don't destroy the environment. I don't want the environment destroyed. But humans have perfected the indoors so much that I'm no longer interested in the outdoors. I'm a city boy. I like concrete. I like glass. I like steel. I like plastic. I'll take that over trees, leaves, vines, and flowers any day. Though I will admit I have my little hippie moments where I may want to be out in nature, like let's go to the park. And then when I'm done, I'm done. Like let's go to the park, get up, get back onto the street and rejoin civilization. My partner David struggles with me because David loves nature. David is dying to get out of the city and I'm like, I'm not leaving the city. I'm like, I am not leaving the safety of the city to go upstate where all these coyotes and wolves and bears and crazy mountain people. No, thank you. Where they reside. No, thank you. Mi gente, I'm already plotting and planning. As much as I want to see friends, family, blah, blah, when I go to Puerto Rico, I'm really thinking about some of the restaurants and some of the kiosks and some of the places. I want to make it like a little bit, if I do it, I really want to make it very foodie oriented. You know, there's some great places in Puerto Rico and hopefully in the next couple of months, things will be better and I can go and eat. But then again, I can buy food and go eat at home or eat in the Airbnb or whatever. I don't know if I'm going to stay with any friends or family. I'll figure that out. But I'm thinking of, like it may be a foodie thing. I may bring you guys along with me. I was thinking maybe I should do some filming. You know, be like a real mukbanger, real YouTuber. Do some filming. Check out some of the restaurants and the food and see what I think and share that experience with you. What do you guys think? Some authentic Puerto Rican food in Puerto Rico. There are some authentic Puerto Rican places that are amazing on the island, which is funny because you would think Puerto Rico has amazing Puerto Rican food all over the island, and it doesn't. There's been a really sad turn of evolution. There's been a sad evolution on the island moving towards fast food. where you have a lot of people are far more interested in eating at Church's Chicken, Uno's, KFC, Denny's, Checkers, Applebee's, far more interested in eating in those chain restaurants than they are going to like a local pub or like a local fondita and having like real Puerto Rican food. I mean, when I go there, in the past when I've been there, I've been obsessed with going to as many restaurants to eat rice and beans as possible. And I have friends that have been like, I want to go to Church's Chicken. I'm like, no, we're not going to Church's Chicken. I want to eat, you know, some good rice and beans. And they're like, I want to go to Applebee's. I want to go to Denny's. I want to go to IHOP. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I have a couple of friends on the island that are foodies. So I may tap into them and be like, take me wherever. I've been told that Puerto Rican food, Chinese food in Puerto Rico has really changed. Because I've had Chinese food in Puerto Rico that was disgusting. Horrible. And I found it amazing how many people were like, this is such good Chinese food. I'm like, no. But I've been told by some foodies that the Chinese food, the quality and just like the cuisine, Chinese cuisine on the island has like really, really gotten better. So I'm curious. I haven't been to Puerto Rico in a really long time. Again, I'm not a big traveler. And also being a city boy, I don't know if you guys know, when you go to the islands, you got to have a car. There is no public transportation in Puerto Rico. What they call public transportation is a joke, and it's not everywhere. So being a New Yorker, diehard New Yorker that has never driven a car in his life, I don't have a driver's license or anything. Yo, I grew up in the city. I've taken the trains and the buses all of my life. And when I didn't live in New York City, for a few years when I didn't live in the city because of college and because of my career, I lived in big cities that had trains and metros and L's and all that. So, yep. A whole bunch of arroz con gandules just fell all over my chest. I'm saving that for later in my bra. Oh my God. So, I'm not a driver. I've never lived anywhere where I've needed to drive because when I lived outside of New York City, I lived in DC. I spent some time in Chicago. I lived in places where there was a public mass public transportation where I could take a bus or a train and I didn't need to have a car. When you go to Puerto Rico, if you want to cross the street, you got to get in a car. Like, you know, it's like California level car culture where people act like if they have to walk more than 5 minutes, somehow their body won't be able to process the stimulation. I have friends that have come from the island that, you know, I run around with them in the city and they're halfway done, they're dying because they're so used to sitting in a car that doing the amount of walking that we do in New York City, like they don't have the stamina for it. It's something they have to build up. You know, can't we take a car? Can't we drive? Can't we take an Uber? And I'm like, dude, it's like 5 blocks away. Walk, you know. Car culture will do that to you. So yeah, I haven't been to the island because also going to places that are very car culture centric are difficult for me because then I rely on other people to drive me everywhere. People have to go to work, school, deal with their families. They don't have time to chauffeur Ben around to all the restaurants he wants to eat. But modern day Puerto Rico, from what I understand, Uber and Lyft and all that is a lot more accessible than it used to be. I mean, back in the day, getting a cab in Puerto Rico, that was like next to impossible. But now these things are a little bit more ubiquitous. These things are a more of a relied upon resource. So I think, you know, I'll be able to run around the island as much as I want to run around will be possible. So I'm just thinking about it, kind of really into it more than anything else. I want to go home. I want to see some of my folks that I haven't seen in a while, people that I just chat with and, you know, do social media with. I want to see some friends face to face and talk. You know, I only see them when they come to New York and and for years now, they've been like, oh, if I want to see you, I better come to New York. You'll never come to the island. I'm going to go. Guys, it's so good. This is so good. My roommate made this tonight. Arroz con gandules. Rice with green pigeon peas. Sometimes these pigeon peas are called Congo peas. Once again, a lot of our African influence in this dish. So delicious. So, mira. Sofrito lovers, I'm going to finish the rest of this off camera. Love you guys. Hope you all are doing well. Stay safe. Follow all the precautions. I don't want to talk about that stuff. Do what you got to do. Stay safe. Go out there. Go taste for yourself. Go have some culinary adventures. Como siempre. Buen provecho y mucho, mucho, mucho amor.